Meeting call to order, please rise and salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call members, please.
Councilmember Maury,
Here.
Councilmember Moore. Aye. Councilmember Hunter,
Aye.
Supervisor Trombley,
Here.
and any Councilmember Rochester is absent.
Okay. Approval of the minutes from the previous meetings. Approve the meeting of April 12th first, please. Motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of
I'll
April
second
12th.
that.
Okay, are there any changes or deletions required?
Let's see them.
Nothing that really needs attention.
Okay. If so, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of the April 20th meeting, the special meeting.
I make a motion that we approve the special meeting minutes.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any corrections, deletions, omissions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. It's approved. It's time for presentations of petitions, communications, and general question period for members of the community, but we don't have anybody here. So we'll get right to my report. Once I find where I put it. Here we are, got- Get stuck to the minutes, grab it all together. Good evening, everybody. Congratulations to all recipients of the 2022 Women of Distinction Award. They were all very well deserved. The town and I wish to thank everyone who helped with the cleanup of litter held on Arbor Day. The areas cleaned were Prospect Road, Lawrence Paquette Drive, and a section of Route 276 in front of the high school. The volunteers consisted of town residents, town officials, Knights of Columbus Council 3525 members, and the Northeastern Clinton Central School Outdoor Club. Additionally, there were residents on Route 9, Paris Mills Road, and St. John's Road that picked up litter. Thank you to them and any of the residents that we are unaware of who pitched in. I don't want to omit anybody, so we won't throw any names out, but thank you to all of you. And again, like even the ones, I'm sure there's others that got out and we're unaware of. It was a great achievement as there were 2 large truckloads of garbage collected. Additionally, on Arbor Day, we planted 2 trees in Bob Venn Park. One was donated by the Rosses Point Champlain Kiwanis Club for our park and rec trail. The other tree was donated by the town of Champlain employees in memory of Clark Hurdick for his years of dedicated service to the town of Champlain in the planning and development of Bob Venn Park. We had a leadership meeting on April 25th, and we discussed various topics. For one, we are planning a 5K run on the rec trail, starting at the Rosses Point Rec Center and ending in Bill Earl Park in Champlain. And there may be a kids race organized at the Rosses Point Rec Field prior to the race. It's still in the works. The date is to be determined. We will announce it as soon as we know. And we're planning a Putin month. So this will be similar to the Plattsburgh, Michigan month that we've all heard of over the last couple of years in the town of Plattsburgh. And we've chosen 5 local restaurants to participate. I don't know if all have been asked yet, but I can confirm that Border View will participate. I have spoke to Stacy Gooley. There was discussion in regards to our shared marketing website, and we're waiting for updates from the team on that. The next leadership meeting with the villages and the town is scheduled for May 16th. The highway department has been busy cleaning, painting, and repairing our equipment this past month. The trucks and equipment look great. Currently, they are out cleaning the roads, sweeping sand. Please be aware of them in your travels and slow down when in the work zone for their safety and yours. We will continue working on the evaluation to merge our various sewer districts. Our attorney has reviewed the documents and has agreed we can move forward with this. And public announcements. St. Mary's 53rd Annual Bazaar is being held on Memorial Day weekend, Sunday, May 29th, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. The tractor pulls begin at 11, then they break for the parade at noon. The tractor pulls will resume after the parade, and the drawing for a raffle is at 6 p.m. So all come out and enjoy. It's a great spring event to get together again. There is a Republican and Democrat primary being held at town offices on June 28th, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. And there will also be a Democratic congressional election held at the town offices on August 23rd, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. And additional note, we still have COVID test kits, surgical mask, and KN95 mask available, and we have this on our webpage. Just come on in, we'll set you up. Thank you very much. Let's see, report from the council members. Jason, let's start on your side tonight.
Okay. I have a question, Tom, about something in your report. The party primaries. Is that official, or is there a possibility that might change?
No, I got official notice.
So the redistricting is not gonna throw that?
It might,
Okay.
I mean, I've been following it, and it's, right up to the minute practically. The courts can change,
It could, but I just received that this week.
yeah, but there's still,
Okay, well, that's official as of today.
Okay, so,
and it.
That's the 28th?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think it's Democrats are holding a congressional,
In August.
Correct.
yeah, but it's not an election, it's a primary.
Okay.
So
I worded it wrong?
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, somebody might think.
Yes, you're right.
oh,
It's a primary, you're
It's
correct.
just a primary, if it holds true.
okay. All right. So I'll do my report for the zoning board. So the zoning board met on the 21st of April, and there was one application about establishing a vehicle holding lot on Route 11. The application, after discussion, was approved, and there'll be a public hearing scheduled for May 19th at 5:30 p.m. here. So the public is welcome to attend that public hearing for that particular application. And also, this week we have zoning code workshops, correct?
Correct.
So May 11th at 5 o'clock. I believe the zoning board and planning boards have been invited to these meetings, correct?
Yeah, we copied them,
I'm
didn't we?
pretty sure we, yeah.
I'm pretty sure they were copied.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, I planned on them being copied.
Yeah, so, and I think so. May 11th at 5 o'clock, and then May 13th at 10 a.m., so. And that's with the Riverside Planning, correct?
On the 13th, correct.
Yeah, on
That
the
would be a Zoom meeting
Okay.
with Riverside.
All right, yeah, I put that, looks like zoning board members, code enforcement officer, town board members have all been notified, planning board as well, so. All right, so that's from the zoning board. Marketing committee, we met on April 20th at 10 in the morning. We discussed further on town wants services from the Boyer-Benner Group, and I have a copy of those minutes here where things that we discussed, phasing out, or maybe not phasing out, phasing in, different changes in marketing strategies, the discussion of a mission statement And I've passed this all on to Boyer Benner Group, and so they are aware of what we're looking for, so working on this mission statement, and working on our rebranding, if you will, of the town, so logo, design, phrasing, all that stuff. And they are very excited. The next phase is that now that they have all of this and they're gonna start working up their proposal, so to speak, and they would like to meet with the marketing committee once they get that all situated. They're supposed to throw some dates at me, so some possible dates, and then we can pick one, and then we'll end up, I guess, going from there, looking at their proposal and figuring out if everything fits with what we want budgetary-wise and what have you. So they're very, very excited. I've also contacted Paul and sent him over everything, and hopefully we are in the process of the storyboarding and getting things ready for the first phase of the filming of our public service announcement commercial, if you will. So we're...
So are you starting to put a script together for that?
Yes, that's in process.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we should be filming the summer sections this summer, which is very exciting, yeah. Let's see, so that's marketing. I'm trying to see if there's anything else I have here. Draft proposals, that's good. Next I have Hometown Heroes banner update. The banners are currently being created, and Sarah did get back to me, and it looks like they should be arriving this week or next week. So they're gonna be coming in very, very soon. And the applications that we had to put in to use the utility poles on the road, both NICEAG and DOT, all of the applications for the poles we used, they've been approved.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, so every place that we have selected, it looks like they're good to go, so the next will just be coordinating to get the banners up. Because when the banners come in, they'll be coming with all the hardware as well. So I would say that our goal is probably to have those up within the next couple of weeks. So right in time for Memorial Day weekend.
That'd be awesome.
Yes. Let's see here. I spoke with Mayor McFettridge in the village of Champlain about a resolution for the Eagle Scout who worked on the project for the park, the Bob Venn Park, and we're just working on the information he has sent us or continues to send us so we can put together that resolution to be.
Yeah, so I gave it a template to kind of follow. It's
Yes, and it was
it's
more.
easy to do.
Yeah, and it was also about soliciting the right information from
Yes.
him. So we were trying to get his resume and all of that. So he, I
So
believe,
we hopefully can do that next month.
that'll be for June. So it'll be all set for June. Yeah. So I had the opportunity to attend the Women of Distinction Award ceremony that you mentioned in your report earlier. This was presented by Assemblyman Billy Jones at Clinton Community College on April 28th at 6 o'clock. There were various awards honoring local women who have had a significant positive impact on their communities and those around them. 2 of the 8 women who were honored that evening actually have connections to the town of Champlain. Rebecca Boire West, who is formerly from Champlain, she won the North Country Neighbor Award, and Melissa Gooley, who lives in Champlain, and is the, if I remember right, her official title is, she is the Northern Regional Practice Leader for Hudson Headwater Health Network for Clinton, Franklin, and parts of Essex County. She was honored as well with the Healthcare Award. So I brought the program for all of you to take a look at, and it was very exciting to be there to see all of these amazing women from all sectors of, I have to say, the Billy Jones office did a good job really having a collection of women from all over his district because they came from all parts. It was very fascinating and of all backgrounds and all ages, and it was really a remarkable night. So congratulations to the two town of Champlain recipients on those awards they won. You mentioned the Earth Day, Arbor Day celebration we had on April 30th. It was fun. picking up trash, wasn't it, Brian? It's always nice to make the
Yeah.
place a little bit cleaner, I guess.
Yeah,
It was interesting.
I'd like to add, it's already collecting, so I wish people would please stop littering. It's already collecting already, it's on the side of the roads, and it's
Okay,
discouraging.
it's many hands make light work is the phrase, right? So we can all do a little, it adds up to a lot.
Mhm.
Let's see here, and you'd mentioned, if we're still looking for individuals for the Rouse's Point Stars and Stripes on the Lake celebration. Anybody that wants to participate in any capacity, please contact Karen Weierstall, or the American Legion Post in Rouse's Point. And I think that so ends my report. I have one more thing. The town of Champlain is going to be hosting a food truck evening here at the town offices. This is going to be on May 25th from 4:30 until 6:30 p.m. right out here in the parking lot. And as of right now, we have a few food trucks. We have the Dog Father and we have Mr. Ding-a-ling. So if you're looking for something savory, you're looking for something sweet, we have opportunity for both. And we're currently working on bringing in a few more individuals for our food truck night. So we encourage the people in the town and the villages and from anywhere really, you want to come and enjoy a little social evening and have a bite to eat, come on down. We'd love to.
Or come in and take out,
That's true, yes. You don't have to stick around. You can just simply pick it up and take it home.
So that's Wednesday, the 25th, 4:30 to 6:30 at the town office. in the
That's
parking
correct,
lot.
Brian, yeah. And I want to thank Sarah for helping organize our first food truck event,
Yeah,
so she's,
she's been working on it.
yes, correct.
Very good. Is that all?
I believe that's all. I think that's all, Mike, thank you.
Good job, thank you. Ryan?
Very little, just the porta potties are in at both recreation parks, the one in Ferry's Mills and the Bob Ben Park, so it's a little easier to use if you need to. And the volleyball net will be up soon, if not already. Alan's gonna be putting it back up, so volleyball's available too. People wanna use it at the Bob Ben Park,
Okay.
and that's,
And the trail is, I get to glance out the window every once in a while at the school, and the trail is in heavy use. And we're talking from morning to afternoon to the evening. There are people on the trail biking, walking, you see them with their pets, it's strollers,
Mhm.
so it's very active, which is nice.
And the trees are doing well? Clark's is actually leafing out right now.
Is that good?
And I've been watering, and so has Alan. We'll talk about that later. We got an idea to try to make it easier, but it's hard to get water out there. Okay. Anything else, Brian?
nope.
Mr. Hunter?
Okay, first of all, the Champlain Fire Department, they're at a point right now where they are actually dealing with surveying and environmental testing, and they're in the process of applying for funding for the new fire station. Recently, as we all know, when we approved the EMS budget, the air packs that are pretty costly, in fact, have now been ordered. And in fact, April is considered Air Pack Month. Never knew that, but I do now, being the fire department liaison. So that's all I have for the Champlain Fire Department. In terms of the Rouse's Point Fire Department, there's a few things to note. Number one, that they will be holding their all-you-can-eat breakfast at the Rouse's Point Fire Department on Sunday, May 22nd, from 8 to noon. And the cost are, adults are $10, children 6 and younger are free, and they have quite a menu here, so I encourage everybody to get out and support the Rouse's Point Fire Department. Also, just a reminder, we're toward the end of the actual New York State statewide burn ban, which ends on May 14th, but as we know, just because the grass is greening up and things are looking bright, still we kind of want to just mention a couple of different things, and that is, number one, Never permitted is trash or garbage burning in terms of ban barrels, burn barrels, I should say. Also, there are exceptions to some burning, and that includes cooking fires, ceremonial fires, for example, if you were doing a flag burning, illegal agricultural burning, and also campfires inside of enclosed pits or rings. So just be aware as this nice weather is upon us now. Yeah. In addition, Stars and Stripes, as Jason has mentioned, they just held their most recent meeting on May 3rd. But we want to continue to kind of put this date out. June 25th and 26th are the two very important dates when Stars and Stripes long plans that they've been putting in place, in fact, will actually be carried forward in the village of Rouse's Point. So just to kind of note that. One more announcement just for people that aren't aware. Many of you, of course, have received your property assessments. Just to note that in the town of Champlain, that grievance day is on May 26th, and it is from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Also, the Village of Rouse's Point's Fire Department is holding a benefit raffle. They are doing a sale of tickets, $10 each. The drawing will be held on August 1st, 2022. To purchase tickets, you can contact any Rouse's Point Fire Department member. You can go onto their Facebook page, or you can contact Justin at 518-578-1663. First prize is $1,000, second prize is $500, and the third prize is $100. So, let's see if there's anything else I have here for you. EDUs we'll talk about later on in the evening, so, okay?
Okay.
I think that's all I have.
Thank you, Rick, and thank you for reminding me about the breakfast. I meant to have that in my report and announce it. And I also want to add to my report that I attended both the EMS banquet and the Rouse's Point Fire Department banquet. And I hope everybody feels as I do, how much respect I have for these volunteers. You know, I've been a volunteer all my life, but not to the degree of these men and women that get up in the middle of a meal, in the middle of the night, leave a birthday party, and go out and face a very, very serious incident and put their lives at risk and then save lives. So I just want to add, I wanted to add that I got a huge respect for those people. They are definitely very appreciated by the town and their villages. So thanks for reminding me, I had that in my report. Report from the town clerk.
You have my report that just needs approval.
I make a motion that we approve the town clerk's monthly report, August 1st to August 30th,
April.
or April 1st to April 30th.
Sorry.
Local shares remitted were in the amount of $735.60.
I'll second that. No,
No.
this is an approval. Any discussion on the report? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Just letting you know that the Town of Champlain Local Law 1 of 2002 was filed on April 19th at the state. So the moratorium has all been filed.
Okay, and that's the effective date. Therefore, right?
Mhm. And then also at the zoning board meeting, the board appointed Tracy DeCuss as chairman and Kevin Hicks as vice chair. So the town has to approve them.
Okay.
You got it?
Um,
So just need a motion to approve their appointments?
Now, this is, am I incorrect? Is this the first minutes that we've seen from both the zoning and the planning since last year?
Yes, it's the
Okay.
first meeting.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I just wanted to kind of make sure that the public's aware in terms of when these minutes are filed. They're not monthly as we meet.
Yeah, because they don't always meet.
Correct,
They
correct.
only meet as needed.
So, okay.
I'll make a motion to accept the nominations of Tracy DeCoste as the president and Kevin Hicks as the vice president of the zoning board.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried.
And then at the planning board meeting, they appointed Carl Schenk as chairman and Rob Wesselholm as vice chairman.
Entertain a motion for that?
Make a motion that we approve Carl Schenk as president,
Chairperson.
chairperson, and Robert Wolfsteinholm as the assistant
Hmm?
to Mr. Schenk.
Okay, any discussion? No, you don't have a second yet.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried.
That's all I have.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know if you wanna do that now, but you got your EDU report, the agent report for the EDU bills.
Yeah, did we talk about that when we get to that point in the business, or is it, you wanna do it now?
Well, this just is, needs approval that the bills can go out tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Okay. Then we can do that now. Have you guys had time to look at this? But this is just all the EDU bills throughout the district, correct?
Mhm.
Total in the last page.
Yeah, she has that on the last page. I just wanted to look at with the EDU appeals and just kind of compare these. This is the first time I've seen this.
Yeah, that would be my question, is this, are
I
those?
can't answer that because I had not seen this until I arrived tonight,
So
so.
why don't we hold it?
Can we hold, give us a chance to look it over
Yes.
before we make that approval?
Yes, because I haven't seen it like I.
What do you wanna know, the changes? The changes aren't on it, cause you guys didn't approve the changes yet. You had I mean, I can change them tomorrow if you guys approve them, you know, but right now, the same usage is on here that was from the first quarter.
So can we wait and kind of maybe talk about that in old business?
Yeah, when we cover it in old business.
Right.
We
We'll,
can make the
Okay.
changes and then make it the approval of, based on the changes that are.
Correct.
Very,
Okay.
yeah.
yes,
Very
let's do that.
Thank you.
I agree. Okay. Anything else?
No, I don't have
Okay,
anything.
so we'll move on to the review of the post audit bills. Any question on those?
Now, I just have a question in regards to, on the abstract, the generators that we've contracted with through Rogers.
Correct?
Those two amounts, if I'm not mistaken, I thought that, I notice here that there's a total of less than what we had approved at the last meeting. Let me just look here in my notes here.
We approved the down payment, correct?
It was for, if I remember right, the total amount was $49,048, correct?
I believe so.
Okay.
And I actually, I have it.
And I noticed that for one of the generators,
I don't have that file.
it was 11,886, and the second generator was 12,638. So I guess what I'm asking, is this a percentage, a down payment on the generator, so it's not the full amount of the 49,000? I just want
Correct. It is
clarity.
down payment.
Okay.
So that's all we approved.
Okay,
is a
so I
down
just wanna make
payment,
sure
right?
that's a clarity. All right. Because the total amount I had noted here was in the amount of $49,048.
Yeah, she has it listed as a deposit, one generator deposit.
Correct.
Two generator deposit. So she labeled as number one and number two.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's just a deposit, so you can get them ordered.
Okay.
We can talk about that later, but they're gonna be a while.
I
I sent him an email.
see that.
Yeah, asking if.
6 months out, yeah.
Yeah, so I sent him an email to see if he can find one in the network or something to shorten the time frame, but he hasn't replied. But that's okay, there's plenty of work to do to get to that point. Anybody else have anything? Any questions on it? If not, I would make a motion to approve the abstract, the post audit bills.
I'll make a motion to approve the abstract of post-audit bills.
I'll second that.
That's fine, that's fine. Okay, any further discussion? Well, roll call, please.
Councilmember Bory,
Aye.
Councilmember Moore,
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter,
Aye.
Supervisor Trombley.
Aye. Okay, approved, and then approval of the monthly bills.
A question on the Board of Elections chargeback.
Okay,
Can somebody tell me a little bit about that?
What page are we talking about?
This is the first
I
page.
asked her about it, and
Okay,
that's
great.
for the upcoming election.
Okay, so it's for the
three-
upcoming,
The three caucuses.
Okay,
and primaries, I should say primaries coming up.
because when I see chargeback, I'm not sure what that meant, if it was implying that it was like a past due,
Oh, there it is.
so, okay,
That's what it is.
thank you.
Because I did see that and. gave
Yeah, I
her-
wonder what that term is for.
Yeah, and it kinda caught me off guard, and I said, well, I'm gonna ask.
Yeah, and the amount too, you know.
Correct.
It's,
It's a sizable amount.
yeah, but when we have elections or primaries, the town's responsible for paying for it.
Correct.
The more they have, the more it costs
True,
every time,
true, so like the August one's an additional, so it adds to
yeah.
it. That is very true.
The edge set on page number 5. Beauregard Equipment Incorporated, is that part of the tractor for mowing? What is that? So then one new edge, or new cutting edge.
Well, the one new cutting edge would be for, one of the buckets.
Okay, and then the Beauregard Equipment, one below it, the edge set for
I'm
$5,153.
I'm assuming for the mowers, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
It could also be for one of the files, I'm not sure. You want me to,
Yeah, it just get a clarification in terms of what it is, that's all.
yeah, I could get clarification and,
I mean, I assume it's something, because it's underneath the category of machinery contractual, but those are the only questions I had on the bills.
okay, we have a motion to approve the monthly bills.
I make a motion that we approve the monthly bills as presented.
I'll second.
Thank you, any further discussion? If not, roll call please.
Councilmember Bory,
Aye.
Councilmember Moore,
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter,
Aye.
Supervisor Trombley.
Aye. Okay, approved. A report from our codes enforcement officer. Are you guys okay with the format? I told them, simplify it some, just give us a general idea of where you're at.
Correct.
And I liked it, I think it's still comprehensive, so.
As Jason had pointed out at our last meeting, it'd be nice to get a little bit of feedback on these conferences that they attend, just so that we can kind of have a better understanding of
Yeah,
what information was presented. And I know he's very busy, I didn't
Yeah.
expect it for this meeting, but just a reminder.
he's planning on it for the next meeting,
Okay.
to have some sort of report written up. I just want to comment on fourth paragraph down. You've currently been working with Baptiste Kissinger.
Mhm.
I contacted him. We were looking at this in our zoning because as odd as that was a commercial customs house that is sitting in a residential zone. So he's gonna have to get variances, and there's not an easy way to change it. This is really, in our last zoning meeting with the consultant, we talked about it, and she got back to me, this is really the only way we can do this.
Can we have a better idea in terms of what the scope of this farm to this glass distillery business is?
That's where I was headed,
I don't know enough about what the scope of this business looks like. Are we anticipating?
What he intends to do is, once purchased, he wants to renovate, the small outbuilding, which used to be the animal inspection area, is where he will put in the kettles, and they'll be wood fired, and they will, start processing his, what's the best way to put it, I don't wanna call them liquors, but.
Spirits.
Spirits, thank you, that's the word I was looking for.
Spirits.
And then they will go to the other, building, part of that building's gonna have oak, vats to age in. It's gonna take 3 years before he can start selling, and in that period, he intends to, create a tasting room and hopefully also a small restaurant to serve food. So in other words, you'll be able to go there to taste the spirits and have food as well. So it's a great plan. What I had to talk to him about was, I had to give him the history. It's like, sir, do you realize that during Prohibition, that was the Rum Runners Trail, that was the main port where they were running, running their bootleg whiskey through. I mean, I can see him naming this the Rum Runner, the Bootlegger, you name it.
Mhm.
But he was very excited when I gave him all the history of the building. He wants to know more, and he wants to, once purchased and he starts marketing this, he wants to work with the town and the historical center to try to promote it, and he intends to work around that thought. I also informed him about the Meridian Hotel, which is just a few thousand feet or less across the border. That was a huge nightclub back in the 30s to early 50s.
Mhm.
And so he.
How close are residences to this property?
Oh, God, I'd say almost an eighth, a little less than an eighth of a mile,
Okay.
probably for the first house,
Okay.
yeah.
It's not very dense.
No, it's all
Towards that.
farmland,
Yeah.
Right.
it's all
Right.
farmland. So anyways, I'm excited about that
Okay.
one, I really am. I hope this works out. I'd like to see him be successful, because I think it's just a perfect fit, based on the history in this town. Okay, anything else on his report?
No, I thought it was well done.
Okay.
Just descriptive.
Awesome. Report from the highway superintendent. I can just say for him that they've been busy cleaning the roads. As you know, we pulled back that mower that we were hoping to approve. The one that he has ordered from Crew Farm Center is like, I think that the delivery date is late summer, early fall, like August to September. So we found one that we thought we could get our hands on through Bay Sharks Farm Equipment in Ohio, but by the time we acted, it was already sold. So, there's none available.
Is that the one that you provided the image of
Yeah,
in our,
yeah. So they will have to, kinda do what they did last year and use multiple tractors to try to keep up with it.
but we'll continue to look forward to
I
seeing
believe,
about purchasing one.
oh, that first one
For
is
the
still in
fall,
order,
okay.
so we just, we didn't can, we didn't
Just
cancel
waiting.
it. Just
Okay.
waiting, just waiting. And I don't think you're gonna find any, cause I think he told me the golf course has had one ordered for over a year now, and it's still back ordered.
Well, has there been a first mow out at Bob Ben's farm
Yep.
already?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, one of the men went out with, our Ford tractor, and I saw him out there when I was headed out at 6:40 AM, he was just getting there. And when I left the school at 4 o'clock, he was still out there mowing.
It was.
That's how long it takes. He was just about done, I think, at that point, but, yeah, it's a full day's job with one tractor, one small. I mean, it's a big tractor for a lawn, but it's small for a field like that.
A lot larger, you think?
Yep.
Start walking it.
Report from the dog control officer. As you can see, there was several to the SPCA, so I don't know where we're at with our limit on that, and we must be awful close, if not over. I think the only
I'm not sure what the limit
I'm
is.
trying to remember.
I don't know
think
what the limit is,
I
it's
think,
12?
I thought it was either 6 or 8 for that one fee, and after that it's per dog. So don't be shocked if we start seeing a per dog charge come in, because there was a lot this month. 7 on there. Crazy. Luckily though, no dangerous dogs, so that was good.
Yeah.
Any other questions on his report? If not, we'll get into the correspondence. So you have the zoning board of appeals minutes, which we've all had time to look at, and as you pointed out, Rick, that's the first set this year because it's the first meeting. And then we have the planning board minutes, where they were looking at a subdivision. Then we have the notice from the Assembly of the State of New York in regards to CHIPS funding, which is going to be a total of $253,040.36. So that is very much appreciated. As you'll hear later when we get through into new business, the asphalt is up 20% over last year's cost currently. And we're just hoping it doesn't go up more by the time we finally lay it down on the road.
Yeah.
It's dependent on that fuel oil.
Is anybody aware that, looking at Assemblyman Jones's correspondence, has the town ever received any state touring route project funds? Because I noticed like the city of Plattsburgh, town of Plattsburgh, I should say, just in 2022 was approved for over $2 million for, and it, I kind of printed something up, I'll get to you, Tom, to look at.
Please share it. No, I don't know about, anything about it.
I think there's, there might be some available funds that are also for the town, so,
Yeah, we'll reach out to
okay.
Billy Jones with that. He keeps trying to set a meeting to come here and go over all the available funding, and he hasn't, he's busy. It hasn't happened yet, but we're gonna get together. But yeah, thanks for that, Rick.
Sure.
I don't know about that. And the JCEO report. And, did you look at the revised letter of appeal to FEMA?
From Glenn Cutter looked
Yeah, the
at.
county got back to us either late yesterday or early this morning and, gave some paragraphs that we could use, gave me permission to go ahead and use them, so I merged them into our letter, and it's certainly more comprehensive. And he also supplied the maps that we're attaching.
Now, those maps, I noticed that there were, I think, 9 maps. Did they all correlate to the 9 properties that were listed on the,
That's correct,
that's what I thought,
that's correct.
okay.
Which was.
And it seems like the one that seems the most distressed in terms of possibility of flooding seems like on the St. John's Road. If you look at the actual,
Yeah.
based upon the maps themselves,
Kind of, I mean, so you're saying it's the most likely out of all of them?
well, it seems based upon the actual
The
footage.
the farmland, but not so much the houses, like, we don't believe it. But, you know, they did everything by elevation,
Right,
and as the letter that we wrote out says, it seems that, you know, the mapping appears to be based on the worst-case scenario. It doesn't, rather than a 1% chance of flooding, or a 1 in chance in 100 years. you know.
right.
And part of the appeal process is, if someone's on one of these properties that are now in the flood zone, they actually have a way out other than having it surveyed. They can measure, but if they have a cellar, you can't. But if they don't have a cellar, say it's a mobile home or a pad, they can measure
Thank you.
from the first floor to the ground level, put that in their appeal, and FEMA will calculate whether or not they will ever flood, and they can pull them out based off that, because the ground level might be just in the flood zone, and the building might not be. It's just an example. But folks should know that they do have that option,
Right.
other than hiring a surveyor to come in. But we'll see what happens.
And that's a working basement, that's not a dirt basement where there's nothing in the actual.
I believe so.
That's okay.
Yeah, if Chris was here, he'll explain it better, because he shared a lot of this with me. when
That's
he-
what I
when
wanted
he-
to see
When
his
he came
report.
back from his training, he did say there was very heated discussions during training due to this. So anyways, the JCO report, we've already reviewed that.
Yeah.
The appeal letter to FEMA,
Mhm.
and that brings us to new business. So the first would be this lease agreement, which you all should be well aware of. It's to do with the sand. It's gonna be sand pit that will be leasing from this gentleman. So if you've had time to review it, it's been revised and agreed upon both parties. And so, well, we just need to make this official, or do a resolution tonight to adopt this lease.
So Alan's gone over it and agreed with everything that's in it.
Yes, and so have I, and so has our attorney, and
So,
their attorney, and the owner.
Mhm.
It went back and forth, there was many little revisions made before we ended up to this point.
And Alan feels very comfortable with being able to, you know, extract through March of 2024 out of this location.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, he does.
Okay.
I mean, once he gets all the permits in place, which is gonna take some time, and is able to start, he intends to move from the other pit to work on this one.
Okay. And no problems, we don't have to change anything with our insurance or requiring us to carry $1 million? In
I
addition to
can't-
the whole harmless?
Yeah.
I don't think so, but I can't honestly answer that, it's a good question.
Okay.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I really don't, but I could double check on that, because I hate answering off an opinion, my own opinion.
And I think when this was first brought to the board last year, I think the question I had was, you know, what happens when you need to, you know, get a hold of sand that it's not Monday through Friday because of their hours that it allows the pit to be accessible. But I was assured that
Yeah.
Alan would have sufficient sand to be able to meet those needs for that weekend or whatever the case might be.
Yeah, because the sand's usually all processed from the pits
Right.
prior to winter.
Correct.
Not here.
Correct. And put in the shed,
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
yeah.
So,
Did you ask something about the insurance?
yeah,
The insurance,
yeah, you see
It's
that?
on number 7, it talks about,
the need to carry $1 million,
yeah,
is what I read,
yeah.
correct. And that's,
Did I misunderstand your question?
I just wanted to make sure that we didn't have to change anything in terms of our insurance policy to kind of make sure that we're covered in that regards.
Correct, but we do need to carry
Yes, we
a
do.
sum of no less than $1 million.
Correct,
Right.
that's right.
I think we already have,
Okay,
but I'll check on that
okay.
and let you know. I'm pretty certain that that's covered. You're not aware, Julie,
No.
for sure? I don't want to answer that for sure, so I will get back to you on it. So anyways, I would like to make a resolution whereas the town board will adopt this lease agreement on the 10th of May, 2022. And we'll need a roll call of votes to adopt that resolution. Is that all I need? Or do we need a second on
Need a second.
that? Okay,
I'll second that.
thank you.
Council, will you roll call?
Mhm.
Yes, please.
Councilmember Bory,
Aye.
Councilmember Moore,
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter,
Aye.
Supervisor Trombley.
Aye. Okay, resolution carries. So we'll get this signed and sealed tomorrow. And with that, we just need to approve the first payment of $12,000, as stated here, upon the execution of the agreement. That $12,000, of course, is in the B fund budget. So I need a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the $12,000 from the B fund to pay for the deposit for this contractual agreement.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any discussion? All, no, let's roll call on that, please.
Councilmember Bory,
Aye.
Councilmember Moore,
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter.
Aye.
Supervisor Trombley.
Aye. Okay, thank you. Now, the agreement for expenditure of highway monies. Why do I not have that? Is that in your basket? I bet it is. There it is. Okay, so this is Form 284,
Got it?
Yep.
and we'll need to sign both copies of this tonight.
Okay.
We'll pass it around. So as you can see, it's 3.2 miles of highway that we're planning on paving. It's McCray Road, portion of the Creek Road, and the Tallman Road, from Route 11 to the dead end. Now I'll point out that the total cost at, today's quote of per ton charge of $56 is $298,482. We have $253,040 and 36 in chips, so that leaves $45,441.64 out of our budget. So Alan was meeting with the, was at a county meeting today. I don't know what the results were, but he was hoping to get an idea of when this could happen. Hopefully it doesn't, oh, excuse me, $57, I said 56. I think it was 46. So if we're, I need a motion motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve Alan to sign for the agreement of the expenditure of highway monies to the county.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any discussion? Let's do roll call for this expenditure again.
Councilmember Bory,
Aye.
Councilmember Moore,
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter,
Aye.
Supervisor Trombley.
Aye. Let's sign those afterwards. Okay. This short form of agreement, so this is with AES Engineering Services, AES Northeast actually, Architecture, Engineering and Land Surveying. So this is, if you've read it, it's all the conditions you would find in their contract moving forward. So they like to have this approved first up front, and then they will give us their proposal with the cost. So as you know, we're gonna have to talk about this a little bit. As you know, I met with them at both sites. And I was very, very impressed with the level of expertise of all of them, especially their principal engineer. She really,
Who is that, Tom?
Jennifer Weeks. So while at the booster station, I mean, they just did one, I guess, last year for Beaton Town. She's supposed to send me photos of it, I haven't received them yet. But she knows exactly what we're looking for. So what we're looking to do is to replace that whole skid of equipment and controls with today's technology. So, right off the bat, well, we've just got standard on-off pumps. We're gonna have pumps with variable speed drives so we don't get a pressure hammer at the start and stop, which we actually watched it for a while. And I drained water off so we could create one of the pumps to start, and there is quite a hammer, and she's like, you need to get the elbow changed, because this isn't extreme, but it's enough, as weak as that is, it could cause a leak. So with a VFD pump, you won't have that, 'cause it's gonna ramp up slowly and ramp down when it shuts down. We're looking to have all the statuses of the pumps and the pressures, etc., available to be sent to our computer or our smartphone so we can monitor what's going on in that booster station without being there. That's all part of what we're asking for. Of course, those tanks have to be replaced, so that's the scope of that project. So she's working on building that, and we're also gonna have to get the proposal for what the cost of that engineering service is, and then we're gonna have to go out to bid for the equipment. Any questions on that one?
So they're gonna right-size everything for the pump station,
Correct.
the booster station, and that's gonna be part of the upgrade to the building.
Correct, so what we've got is two projects, because one is water and one's wastewater, right?
Yeah.
So that really, in a nutshell, what we're doing with the generator is separate from that. But as far as what we're looking for them to engineer and go out to bid for is replacing all that equipment. And putting new equipment in there that will last hopefully another 20 years, we don't have to worry about it. Then we went to the lift station on Dubois Road, and the minute we all got out of the car and went to the doghouse, Jennifer informed me that we can't build a building over a lift station because there are combustible explosive gases in sewer. So in other words, what's under that doghouse is a class blah blah explosive.
So the nitrogen levels are that high?
So if you put a building over the top of that, now
Right.
you've created that same condition in the
Correct.
building.
Vacuum,
So in order to do that, you would have to have you wouldn't be able to do it there because there's not enough room. It'd be a large facility with special walls, special ventilation,
Mhm.
special control of the ventilation. You know, it's not that it can't be done, but it's like, not there. So that made the project much simpler, because what we've determined on the land is we have a 20-foot right-of-way of an easement that dates back to when the Blaines owned it. We don't have anything on record after that, which we don't understand, because when I spoke to Gloria Tatro, she remembers that it was done, but it's not filed. It never got filed with the county, so we can't find it. Tim can't find it, you know, going through the county records. So what we were gonna have to do, and this is based off Tim's recommendation, made perfect sense, is you're gonna have to buy that piece of land if you wanna put a building on it, because otherwise I'm gonna have to tax the Tatros for the building on your easement. It made no sense, right? So when I found out we weren't building a building, I went, wow, you just saved us a lot of time and money, because we don't have to do any of that. I will move forward with updating the easement though. Okay, that is on my agenda to do. I need to pull the old one. I'll have to get with the attorney and get with the Tatros and refresh that easement, so there's one on file that's up to date. So what we're doing there is, in addition to putting the generator in, is they are, basically, the electrical portion has to be designed. We wanted to put a new backboard with a little roof over it. I'm sure you've seen those in other applications. I mean, I think the village has one on their pump station, their lift station down right off Main Street, to keep the water off the operator when he's trying to work at the electrical panels and help keep the panels drier. In addition to that, one of those panels isn't even rated for the outside, so we need to change panels as well. The generator will be putting a new controller there anyways, when that electrician flares that up. So that's that piece. As far as the lift station itself, there's several things. One, there's gonna be a new doghouse. Everything has to go through Crester though, because it's their equipment, their lift station. So, you know, she will contact Crester and make a list of what they're going to do and what the cost is. But it's basically a new doghouse that's up to date, insulated to keep it warmer. It'll have special heaters in it, because the heater we're using isn't classed for that lift station. And you know, she laughs, she goes, everybody does that when they're trying to keep this from freezing, but because the heaters that are in there don't work, right, well enough to keep it from freezing. So this new one will keep it from freezing and keep it warm. And we will also have all the technology to have all the statuses of the pumps, the level of the pit, the temperature in the doghouse, all sent to Chris's phone and our computers. So that's that in a nutshell. In addition to that, I got her working with Chris, because Chris said there's a problem with one of the pumps, so we're gonna take care of whatever needs to be done to the pump. So he has to work with Crester and Jennifer to list all that equipment that needs to be changed. And it's probably just one of the pumps, but in case there's more.
That's solely in the Dubois Road.
Yes, it's solely on the Dubois Road. So I'm sure that's gonna turn into a somewhat expensive project, but all of that would have had to have been,
Eventually, we'd have to do it.
I know.
It's,
and you know, at least we don't
Get it
have to,
done.
we don't have to contract to put a building in now, which is great. I mean, that's somewhat of a savings. So yeah, it has to get done, because I didn't know about the pumps giving us trouble, but apparently
Do most municipalities put a building over it?
over the lift stations?
Yeah.
She was only on large facilities, you may see it happen in a, you know, in a plant scenario where it needs to be done, but they all use these little doghouses. So that got simplified, so I'm glad about that. I think it's gonna be a little less money in the long run, and it'll be done right. So, with all that said, I just need your permission, don't believe I need a motion, I just wanna want you guys to be aware of where we're going before I sign this and agree to move forward. The next step will be they'll send us a proposal that we'll have to approve.
So they obviously won't get any money until they start.
So
Give the
we-
approval to do the items.
Exactly. This is just an agreement to enter. My signature will enter us into that agreement, and I figured since it was days instead of weeks, we could do it here at the meeting, just give me your blessing and I'll send it on through.
We've gotta keep going on it, I mean,
Yeah,
it needs
because
to be done.
well, it's gotta get done, it's gotta get done before winter, and as you know, these things take time, so I'm trying to keep the ball rolling.
You said we need to sign both forms? Or the two
Oh, that
forms?
was on the, yes,
On the other?
on the
Okay,
asphalt.
Just a reminder, okay.
Yep. Okay? Well, good with that?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so that brings us to, clothing allowance for code officer. So, we're proposing, Sarah and I are proposing this because Chris does not take the uniforms. So we used to provide uniforms to the last code officer. Chris is rooting a lot of his jeans, so he requested some help for clothing, but he doesn't want uniforms. So I don't have a dollar amount right in front of me, but it's roughly $456 annually is what it costs us to rent uniforms for our employees. So that's what we were paying,
Yeah,
for Mickey. So I'm proposing either 200 or 250, not more than 250, annually for a clothing allowance so you can, these cover his jeans, Even 200 would work, but that's the range I threw out there.
that sounds reasonable.
Yeah, I figure it's half the price of what,
For one thing,
Uniforms
and he's
cost.
responsible for maintaining them and
Yep.
buying them as they go.
yeah, but that's, like I said, it's an annual allotment, so
Mm.
it may be, maybe he'll get more in a year, I would assume, but depends on where we put them.
So it's,
Are we talking like a Carhartt type of jean,
yeah, I would
where
assume,
you're talking $70 to $80 a pair, right?
Well, I don't think he's planning on spending that much, because when I gave him that figure, he thought it was very sufficient. So, I don't know,
it's workwear. is what he uses.
Correct.
yeah.
Yeah, well, it's outdoor,
Yeah,
heavy duty.
Heavy duty, yeah, well, he did
You
a
know,
lot out in the winter this year.
Duluth even has even a better type of outerwear. I'd have him look at those before he kind of jumps in. I think he might get a little bit more longevity out of that type of clothing. But Duluth, Carhartt,
Yeah.
a few different.
It's not his choice, I know like at the village of Champlain, I think the guys use Tractor Supply a lot,
Right, well, they have a lot of Carhartt.
or they use,
Ace has a lot too.
Yes.
yeah, they still have it?
They do, and they have
Yeah,
sales,
yeah.
if you,
Yeah, that's true,
Yeah,
they have purchased from Ace as well, and it's nice if we could purchase locally, but it'd be up to him, it's just an allotment, you have to.
so do you need a motion up to a certain amount?
Yes, definitely.
So I'm gonna make a motion that we provide a clothing allowance for our code enforcement officer up to the maximum amount of $250 annually.
Okay,
And I'll second that.
thank you, any more discussion, any further discussion, I should say? If not, roll call please.
Councilmember Bory,
Aye.
Councilmember Moore,
Aye,
Councilmember Hunter,
Aye.
Supervisor Trombley.
Aye. All right, thank you. Next is the River Street Planning Development Proposal, the comprehensive plan. So let me explain this. We're not gonna be actually approving that tonight. I thought that's what we're doing, but when I started thinking about it, and then when I spoke with Monica, that wasn't the intent. So what this is, it gives us an idea and a budget for what this project is gonna be, okay? So, she would use this actually in writing the grant. You're gonna need a budget, and this is going to be it, but it's gonna be revised slightly, and I'll explain that as well. So, her projection is about 39,000 to to write us a new comprehensive plan. There is, I should have printed that off, because I'm not gonna be able to word it right, but I've got all the state's funding that's being provided this summer. And in there, there is X millions of dollars, I don't remember the dollar amount, provided for planning. So
Right.
it's beautiful, it's good timing.
So we put money up front and then we get money back, correct?
Currently, that plan is 90 and 10, so we're gonna
Correct.
put 10% up.
Correct.
They'll cover 90% of the project.
Yep.
So it's good timing, and I think she's pretty confident that we will get that. What I need to approve is, I believe I forwarded that to you in
You did.
regards to the grant writing. This we need to get started. So we need to approve the $1,000 for her to go out and get these applications put together. This shouldn't change based off what I'm gonna share with you now. In my discussion with her several times, we talked about, should we combine this with the villages, if the villages need plans, and make it a shared service type of an agreement, because they'll give us higher points for the funding. For one, not to mention it kills 2 or 3 birds with one stone, right? So, I contacted Chris Lattimore, the village, because I was quite certain they were in the process, and they've already received the grant that they applied for last year. They're currently waiting for the state contract, and then they already have an engineer, they've already got out the bid. They will be doing theirs this year, so they're too far down the road to join us, because they've already, agreed, they've already got agreements in place.
Yeah.
I spoke with the mayor of the village of Champlain, they do not have one. I certainly sparked her interest, she shared it with her board last night, and they unanimously approved joining us. Which means the costs may go up slightly, I'll need a new proposal from River Street. She didn't give me a dollar amount per se, but it sounds like it'll just be maybe 4,000 or 5,000 more, okay? But the village will split that 10% with us. So in other words, instead of us having 3,900 to pay, we probably will only have 2,200 if my guess is right. It's a good deal for both of us. The way it works is, it'll be one master plan. It gets approved at each public hearing, okay? Once it's owned by both of us, either one of us can go in there alone, singularly, and make revisions if necessary. Say 5 years down the road, we find that we need to revise ours, we can do that separately, and the village will stay the way it is, or vice versa.
Okay.
So, I hope you're happy with that. I'm hoping that you agree to it, so I can move forward and let her know that we're gonna do a joint venture.
So all you're asking for right now, though, is the approval of the $1,000 for,
Let's do 2 separate things.
Okay.
One would be the approval of $1,000 to get the grant writing started.
Mhm.
And I think the second thing I'm looking for approval, and we probably should put in the form of motion, is to join with the village as a joint venture for our comprehensive plan. I believe they made a motion last night as well. The only crutch is, and we're in the same boat, I agree with the mayor. If for some reason we didn't get the funding, we can't go forward. We don't have it in the budget
right,
to spend $20,000 on a plan at this point. I have to have funding, that's the only reason we're doing this. You agree, right?
oh, no question.
And she's in the same boat, the village is in the same boat, so as long as we get the funding, it's very affordable.
And it sounds like based on what you were told, that if the town and the village were to work together, it actually could bolster our opportunity or chances of actually getting the funding that we so desperately need.
Exactly.
So, that's probably the way to go for it, right?
Yeah, I would too. So let's let's get a motion to approve, $1,000 to hire River Street to start writing that grant application and get that in.
And this, I'm sorry, well, you need to make the motion, I'll ask the question.
Okay. Well, I make a motion to enter this agreement of $1,000 to get this grant application in with River Street Planning and Development. You want a second?
I'll second
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so my question is, the 1,000 that we're spending, is that reimbursable through with the funding comes, or is this 1,000 that we will spend and it's 1,000 that we spend and it's not part of the overall?
In addition to the
Funding.
39 to 45,000.
Yeah, I guess that's my question.
And I think we should, I'll ask her to roll that in there to make sure it is in there, so 90% of it's covered.
So the 10%.
That would be yes, yeah.
I
If
agree.
we can ensure that that's the case, then, yeah.
Yep. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Bory,
Aye?
Councilmember Moore,
it. Aye.
Councilmember Hunter,
Aye.
Supervisor Trombley.
Aye. Yes, I will make sure that's very clear. Then the other thing is, I'd like in the form of a motion to enter a joint agreement with the Village of Champlain to write this new comprehensive plan for both of us.
Can I just ask a question? Is it gonna be one comprehensive plan, or are they gonna have
One
their
plan,
own?
correct?
One plan. So it'll have the town, and then it'll have I'm sure it's a section, but I'm not positive, but it's gonna be one plan. I specifically asked, how does this work?
River Street.
And it's one plan,
Yeah.
which will have the
Can I just
village
see that, River
in one
Street? Yeah.
section and us in the other.
Yep, just that top one.
And it lives, we each have a copy of that, right? And we both have to be approved separately. And then 5 years down the road, we need to revise our section, we can do it separately. We don't need to, do it together. The same with them, we can be independent. Apparently, this has been done before, this is not new.
And frankly, if Rouse's Point hadn't already started their process, we probably would be doing 3 municipalities at once. It makes sense that all of us are on the same page.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if that's what we're gonna get out of this, that seems to me the most logical step forward. If we're all
You're 100% right.
dealing with the same situations, the technology's gonna be the same here as it's gonna be there, or the people asking for whatever permitting there is gonna be the same here, and so, yeah.
I agree.
I'll make a motion to create a joint plan with the Village of Champlain for our contract with River Street Planning and Development. What else you want in there?
For the developing of a comprehensive plan.
Jointly with the village, that's all.
Okay,
Yep. And
in
second,
addition to, yeah, what Rick said.
do we have a second?
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Aye, by the way. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, thank you. Brings us to the elbow replacement. Okay, so what I was striving for was three quotes, okay? Now, with this dollar amount, it really wasn't required, but anyways, the third quote I was trying to get from the Village of Champlain, but when Mike finally went down there to measure it, this is not a standard elbow, and once I spoke to Pipeline, he agreed, yeah, it needs to be fabricated in place. So in other words, when they built this, they brought this skid in, they brought the main up, and they made the elbow in the room and bolted it in. That's exactly what they're gonna have to do. They're gonna have to fabricate this elbow in place, on site, I should say. So naturally, the village dropped, Mike said, I can't do that, so we have these two quotes. What you see is a original quote from Pipeline that was, what, $800 some odd under the other one, right? When I was in there with the engineer, Ms. Jennifer Weeks from AES, she pointed out that, what's the name of the flange?
It's called a new mega flange adapter.
Yeah, the one that, I thought we had one in here. Yeah, they didn't put the name of the old one. The old one attaches with about 6 set screws that go through and just pinch the pipe. So it sits onto the pipe and just pinches it, and that's what they bolt the elbow to. It's common, but the thing is that's, from the 90s, and now they make a much better adapter, and she said based on not just the condition of this flange, she goes, it would probably hold up, but I highly recommend that you do this if you're gonna change the elbow. So with that, I only called Pipeline because I took a stretch and went, hey, they're so far under, I know which way you guys are gonna go. And I asked them to re-quote it with that flange. And the new quote is still under the other one. So what I need is a motion to move forward with getting that elbow replaced with the,
I make a motion that we approve the replacement of the 6-inch flanged weld 90-degree elbow and the existing uniflange, and also replace with a new mega flange adapter in the amount of $4,100.
I'll second that motion.
thank you. Any further discussion? And if not, can I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Bory,
Aye.
Councilmember Moore,
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter,
Aye.
Supervisor Trombley.
Aye.
I must say, sometimes I wish I was an engineer, so I understood all these different parts and pieces. It would make things a little easier.
Yeah, I agree. But when you go over a project like this with somebody that's really experienced,
Right.
it's really cool.
Yeah.
I felt like I was back in my old job, working with the engineers on stuff. No, she was very good, and I think I commented at the Pipeline, and like, oh my God, yeah, she's awesome. Next thing is the resolution for standard work hours. This is Form RS 2418. If you remember last month, we did.
We did.
Did you get it?
We
We
did.
did. Yep.
I think it was 2416, I can't remember.
Correct.
What the other one was just the appointed officials.
Mhm.
And what we didn't know was we owed this as well, so they,
Oh, no, that one I don't think we did.
Yeah.
I will.
There's 2 different ones.
Okay.
so the state,
There's Jason.
New York State retirement system contacted us and said, you're still lacking something.
Of course.
So this is the standard workday resolution for everyone, including the employees, okay? So now we have the secretary to the board, the recreation director, pool director, lifeguard, bus driver, everybody's included in here now. So we just need to, I'll need to read.
The bottom part?
Yeah, the bottom part. Actually, Julie, you can read it, if you don't mind, because it's got your name in there.
So you just want to read down here?
Yep,
Yep.
on this,
Okay.
yep.
Well, wait a minute, oh, we can start at the top, I can start at the top, right? Be it resolved that the town of Champlain, and location code, yeah, start up there.
Okay. Be resolved that the town of Champlain, location code 30145, hereby establishes the following as standard work days for its employees and will report days worked to the New York State and local employees retirement system based on the timekeeping system or the record of activities maintained and submitted by these members to the clerk of this body. Supervisor, standard work day is 6. Town clerk, tax collector, standard work day 6. Highway superintendent, standard workday 8. Clerk to the ZBA, standard workday is 6. Code officer, standard workday is 8. Court clerk, standard workday is 8. Secretary to the board, standard workday is 8. Recreation director, standard workday is 6. Recreation assistant, standard workday is 6. Pool director, standard workday is 6. Lifeguard, standard workday is 6. And bus driver, standard workday is 6. On this 10th day of May 2022, Julie Castine, Julie Castine, clerk of the governing board of the town of Champlain, state of New York, do hereby certify that I have compared the foregoing with the original resolution passed by the such board at a legal events meeting held on the 10th day of May 2022, on file as part of the minutes of such meeting, and that the same is a true copy thereof and the whole of such original. I further certify that the full board consists of 4 members, and that 4 of such members were present at such meeting, and that 4 of such members voted in favor of the above resolution. In witness whereof, I hereunto set the hand and the seal of the town of Champlain.
Okay, so I guess, again, we need a roll call.
Well, we need a motion first.
All right. That's true.
I make, yeah, go ahead, no, go ahead.
Make a motion to approve the standard workday resolution as read.
I second it.
Okay, any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Moore,
Excuse me.
Aye.
Councilmember Moore,
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter,
Aye.
Supervisor Trombley.
Aye. Okay, and there's one more thing that got added, almost got forgotten. So we need to, excuse me, a resolution to transfer $7,500, excuse me, from the COVID funding account to SS2. This is to cover the engineering fees for our level study report.
I make a motion that we approve the transfer of $7,500 from COVID funding to SS2 to cover the engineering fees for the river study report.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Moore,
Aye.
Councilmember Moore,
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter, Supervisor Trombley.
Aye. Resolution passes. Now we have old business.
Old business, in regards to EDUs, per the EDU appeals report that I provided to the board at our last regular scheduled monthly meeting, all of those properties that are, or were in question, have now been resolved. So, foregoing future EDU appeals submitted to the town of Champlain, and I want to make sure that all both commercial and residential customers are aware that if you need to kind of look at your bills as you receive them, and if you feel that they are unjust, the correct way to go through this process is to actually file the EDU appeal form with the town, and then the EDU appeals committee will meet, and we will discuss that, and we will be in touch with you, so.
Okay. So with that, is there some way to correlate those changes into this report?
Well, that's what I will need to do. We need to look through and see what's here and match them with each of these customer account numbers and make sure that the EDUs are accurate. And again, I had not seen that until tonight, so there was no way for me to approve that without knowing what that looks like.
So really what you have to do is just take those
Correct,
and approve them.
correct.
And then once those are approved, then I can go through and change, because they haven't been changed yet.
Okay, okay.
Do you have an extra copy of that?
I can make an extra copy
Okay.
of this, so.
Because that I haven't seen.
Because there's nothing new in this, I didn't make copies. This is kind of corresponds to the last month's report. It's just those that were unresolved at the time that we were going through.
Okay.
And then I had to send out correspondence to each of those property owners.
But this reflects that.
This does reflect those
Being
changes.
resolved.
That's correct. That's correct. So,
So if you just like said the tax map number, probably?
And what the change is, we can probably make the change here.
you
Is
want
that
to
the
do it
easiest
that
way
way?
to find it?
Or just,
I'll go by account number, because you have the account numbers is the way that they appear
yeah.
here, 10, 20, and so on.
Yes. that'll
So,
work.
let's, and again, I'm not gonna put these in any specific order, but, the first account number is 17-0,
Look at that, right to it, okay?
okay?
Yep.
And that is being reduced from current assessed EDUs of 2 down to 1,
So that's good done.
okay?
That's correct.
Then 26-0,
26?
that, there is no change,
No change. So it's at 2.
correct? No, it's at 4.
Yeah.
26-0 is at 4.
No, we're at 5.
No, it's only showing 2 EDUs.
This
Well,
is
wait,
commer-
no,
this is
it's
commercial.
4, sorry.
Yeah, it should be
It's
4,
4.
correct.
But I don't know why it says,
I know.
see where it says 2 EDUs?
Yep.
But actually, it is charged for 4, because 452 is 4.
Correct, so that needs to be looked at. The
So
next,
no change, should be 4,
correct.
Yeah, so that's correct then.
okay?
111-0 is the next one. There is no adjustment to the EDUs for 111-0.
111, no changes. So that's 2?
That's
Should
correct.
stay 2?
yes.
Okay.
And then 1040-0 is the next one.
Can we go back to 111-0?
Yes.
Yeah.
It stays at
That
2, there is
stays
no
at
change.
2. We're right, no
Correct.
change, correct. I'm sorry, I'm reading it wrong.
No, that's all right.
There's no 10, what'd you say it was, 1040?
1040-0 is what I have, according to the correspondence that was
No,
filed when I.
That's the water, 1040 is a water.
I can give you a
account.
tax map, I can give you a tax map.
Well, what's the name I can look at, can I?
Dooley.
Okay. I know it's account number, but,
112-0.
is it 112? That 1040 is actually his water bill account.
So it's what number?
112-0.
Thank you. And that, the EDU adjustment is down to 6.5
So,
from 8, correct.
Yep, that's right.
Okay?
So that's correct.
Yep.
So she's got this updated.
Now, he was charged for 8,
He was charged for 8 originally,
yeah.
so he's
and-
down
and
to 6.5, that's why I'm
6.5.
saying it's a decrease in
So
the
it has to be
adjusted.
changed.
This one has to be changed.
Changed,
I
yeah.
misunderstood you
Yeah.
again.
Okay,
I thought you said it was staying, it was reduced to 8. And I said, oh,
No.
that's at 8.
No.
Okay, so this one
One
needs,
112-0 is being reduced by 2.5 to 6.5.
Okay,
And then the next one is 57-0,
you said 6.5, Rick?
that's correct.
okay,
And then 57-0, there is no adjustment, that's staying at 2. One 122-0, that is staying at 1. I think that was more a misunderstanding of what the EDU appeal process was and the
Okay.
form
Okay.
and the purpose.
Yep.
248-0, again, similarly, there was no change, that's at 0.5,
Correct?
okay?
Yep.
116-0, Similarly, that was a misunderstanding. That one stays at 1 EDU. And our code enforcement officer was to go on site and to kind of look deeper into that to see what was on that property. And I have not heard back from him, so.
Okay. Shoot him an email.
So, and then 142-0 is the last one. 142-0, and there is no change, that is at 2. I'll make copies and get
So
one
right
for
now,
everybody
there's
after our meeting
only
tonight.
2 changes then,
That's correct.
okay.
I only caught one. What was the second one?
17 is the first one, and then the other change is 112.
Correct.
So 17-0?
Yeah,
Okay.
that goes from 2 to 1.
Okay, so,
And again, each of these individuals receive correspondence from the town identifying whether or not there was
so this
an
total
increase or a decrease.
is reduced by $282.50,
Okay.
okay?
Correct.
So we'll need a motion to approve these and then a motion to approve this.
Correct.
So I need a motion to approve the EDU appeals changes as submitted or as discussed.
So moved. I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? We need a roll call for that, not really.
I will.
I would, just to.
Because it affects expenditures?
Yeah.
Okay, roll
Yeah.
call please.
Councilmember Moore,
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter,
Aye.
Councilmember Bory,
Aye.
Councilmember Supervisor Trombley.
Aye. Get late. Okay, now we need a motion to approve the EDU billing report with the, I guess in that motion we should say, with the corrections based on
With the 2 changes.
the 2 changes, which results in $282.50 less. You want the new total balance for the motion, you guys, or? 'Cause I could do that. So the new total balance is
110.50, does that sound right? In terms of the report totals?
well, the total balance was $71,355.49.
No, I'm not doing the dollars, I'm doing the up above, in terms of the,
I'm not finding that,
Yeah, I
Rick,
don't
sorry.
even know what you're talking about. One
no, you did it for each one. No, negate that. So
Okay.
we'll deal with just the balance. The only thing is, we will not be able to identify with the changes on those that are 60 days or 30 days or whatever. We won't know that. So there's no way to tell that.
No, well, all we're doing is approving this report with those 2
Correct.
changes that we made, which made the new total $71,355.49. No.
No, that's the
total.
old.
It's the old. Didn't write it down yet, $71,072.90.
I wonder why the balance is 49 cents. I thought that should be 50.
I don't know, you're right. Rounding issue somewhere? I don't know how many decibels this goes out, I have no idea. I don't know, you guys,
I'm gonna look it over and see.
did you?
There are some that are like a .1, and there are some that are. So it is possible that there would be.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, because some are as low as a .1, is that what you're
So would you
saying?
have for a number, Tom?
I had $71,072.90. Right, or 70,000, hang on. no, 71,072.90, had it right. So I guess what we need is a motion to approve the report as stated with those corrections for that new total of 71,072.90. You agree with that, Julie?
Yes.
No, I guess I'll make the motion to accept the EDU billing with the amendments as stated. So the new balance reads $71,072.90.
I'll second that.
Was it 90 or 99?
90.
Because it was 280, 250, I thought, was the, was the
Yeah, it
adjustment.
is 99.
So it's 99.
99.
Okay, and I'll make copies of this for everybody.
I must have put 50 in instead of 49.
You want to roll call?
Yes, please.
Councilmember Bory,
Aye.
Councilmember Moore,
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter,
Aye.
Supervisor Champlain.
Aye. Carried. Okay. That brings us to adjournment. Does anybody else have any?
Something that I forgot to do, I saw it in the minutes here for the zoning board. So the zoning board wants to know if they wish to use a different attorney for something. Do they have the permission to do that?
Well, I think it has to be based upon our opening meeting in January, correct? Where we approved
Yeah, we
our legal counsel?
approved our legal counsel.
But I don't know if we did it separately for the zoning board and planning board.
I don't have my January,
Yeah,
I can go get
With
it.
me?
We
I
did.
know where mine is.
we
I do
use
too
the
at home.
same attorney for
Mine's
everything.
here.
We did.
We did it separately. But I know in the past, when we had the solar, Mike was here at the time, Mike Pedro, and he asked if we could use a different attorney for that. And the board okayed it, so they hired a different attorney. We don't always need an attorney, but I think the board feels that we should have the one that we used to use. Cause he's more familiar with them.
with the zoning process.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like they wanted me to bring that before the board and ask if they felt like there was something that came up that they wanted to use a different attorney than the attorney that we approved, if they had the permission to do that, or if they would need special approval, or.
I think they need special approval.
Yeah.
I would think they need special approval, and I was also asked if once we have an idea in terms of who they would like as this attorney, and we agree to the fees and things, that they include that in their minutes anytime that the attorney is, brought into the process, so that we can at least have an idea.
But I think at this point, we need to stick with what we appointed and designated, don't we?
I think we could change it.
Yeah, I don't see why we couldn't.
We could change it,
So
but
we have to do a resolution
right.
to, okay, so I guess now I gotta ask.
Could they submit to us who their intentions are
In
for?
writing? In writing?
Right.
And,
I can ask all of that at the meeting in a couple of weeks, and see if there's any movement they wanna make on that. And just whether that was an on-need basis, or if they would look to change it completely for the coming year. Do you remember what it sounded like, maybe?
and I'd like to know if their intent is to have the attorney present at every meeting, or just when they feel it's necessary, because I think they should.
Well, in the past, it was more like an on-call thing. They knew that.
That is the impression that I received,
Yeah.
that it seemed like if it was necessary, but they were questioning the possibility that a different legal counsel would be more suited for what they were maybe dealing with. That's the impression I received. And if they had the discretion to then suggest that they go with attorney B versus using attorney A.
So does that sound reasonable if they give us something in writing, even if they want to do it before the meeting? At our next meeting, we could do a resolution to make that change, I think. Just for,
Okay. Yeah.
is that just zoning or zoning and planning?
I only have for zoning. I could not speak on behalf of planning.
Okay.
Well, our
But
next
it
meeting is-
sounds like the attorney would have the similar, what do I want to say, in the same wheelhouse
Yeah,
of understanding, so it would make sense that maybe, I don't know, we look at it for maybe both,
Mhm. I would say for both, but,
I would.
well, with that, I guess we kind of need the planning board to send us something as well, if they feel that way. I don't know if I'm going overboard,
Well,
but it
we
seems
both
like.
meet before the next town board meeting, so
Right.
they got time to get something to you.
Because we are,
We meet on the 19th and then we
Mhm.
meet on the 2nd, if there's anything else.
There may not be anything for planning, is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Right.
So you meet when again?
on the 19th for zoning.
Okay.
That's our public hearing.
And I thought there was a hearing coming up on the, I'm trying to remember when
Well, it's a public hearing for zoning.
yeah,
Correct.
for
The
the,
19th.
for the application that they move forward.
but wasn't there another date in there also, Jason?
That, maybe you're talking about the workshop, the
Or-
13th.
Our zoning code workshop, yeah, there's two meeting dates for that, yeah.
So if they attend those, we could
That could be, actually, that's a
discuss it then.
It's a
That makes
valid
sense
point,
to do it that way.
it could be discussed then, yes. Just to prepare them for what they need to do, which could be done at their public hearing. And then we would have paperwork for our June meeting, if we need to approve a new resolution for their return.
Right, and if they feel they need an attorney for this public hearing that they've got coming up, they're really gonna have to use the one that's currently appointed.
Did you get the impression they were gonna bring an attorney, or?
No.
I don't get the
I didn't get that impression either.
I mean, personally, I know what they're doing, I don't think it's required there, it's not a controversial case in any way.
It was
Don't you agree?
denied at the county.
What's that?
It was denied at the county.
Oh, it was? For what reason?
Or they got a big list, but they denied it, so this board here has to have a majority plus one vote to approve it.
Oh, really?
So maybe we need to look
Maybe we
deeper
could-
into this.
To look deeper into this, I didn't know it
Is
got,
it in regards to the DOT?
I didn't even know the county had gotten back.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, I'm hearing this for the first time, I don't know.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, they denied it.
Because there's quite a process for procedures out there. I looked a little bit online on that.
They said
Setting
they
up a
didn't have enough
procurement center.
information.
For
That was
vehicles.
one,
oh,
they
yeah.
feel they had enough information. They probably didn't show up at the meeting to answer
wanna-
questions.
Extend it.
So we told them the night, remember?
Correct.
We knew when the meeting was.
Correct.
Possibly up to 350.
So, even though that was denied, this ZBA board can still push it forward?
This board can still approve it, but they have to have a majority plus one vote in order to approve it because the county denied it.
Be nice to get
So
the,
we have to make sure that we have a full board that night. If we don't have a full board, the applicant has the option to say he wants to postpone it until there's a full board here. Taking the chance that he could now get it approved without a full board.
who's in charge at the county level?
Glenn Cutters, the planning board down there.
Be interesting to see what their rationale was for why they denied.
Well, I have the list. They sent me something.
Oh, they did?
Yeah,
Can that be shared with this board?
yeah.
Okay. I didn't know too, I'm assuming that they didn't complete the application thoroughly enough.
That's what I'm wondering, if it was just incomplete.
I didn't look at it. I know one thing was they said they didn't have enough information. But I didn't read it all
That
through
makes
it.
sense.
Okay, so I thought it was a fairly good job, honestly. Well, up to the ZBA if they want an attorney. They'll have to use the one that's currently appointed,
Okay.
okay? Anything else?
I forgot the grant application I had in for the Bob Venn Park for the ball field. They said, thanks for applying, but no cigar.
They have a lot of applicants, I'm sure.
Yeah, oh my gosh, they only get 4 grants out, and that's nationwide, so.
Mm.
But they did send 3 other organizations that take applications throughout the year. So if we meet the qualifications, I might send in.
What are the timelines on those other 3?
A quarterly basis, basically, and just says available to local, and there's, the other ones are available to local organizations. It doesn't give a timeline or anything, but they've got links to the organization, so I can look, I mean, may not even qualify, you know, for some of them, I don't know. But what the heck, won't hurt to look.
I agree.
And I can't update you on the tobacco grant funding. All I know is I had a conversation with Calvin at the fireman's banquet, and it's going to get awarded soon. They had over $400,000 worth of applicants for $100,000 grant, you know, so they're splitting it up. So I think we're gonna get some, we're gonna get a piece of it, we're just not gonna get what we're hoping for. So we might have enough to pay a little bit, but I can't announce because I don't know for sure. We'll see what happens in the next week or so, and I'll shoot you guys an email. That's all, I'd ask for a motion for adjournment. And I'm gonna pass these around so you can all
I'll
sign
make
it.
a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
I'll go make a copy of this
It looks like,
for everybody.
I have to remember this is a 2 bottle of water